Class of 2008, please remain standing. Audience, please rise for the presentation of colors by VFW Post 295. Concert choir members, please go back to the risers at this time. The concert choir will now perform our national anthem under the direction of Mr. Chad Lindblom.
Stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Audience, please help me in giving a warm welcome to the class of 2008. You may now be seated. Board member, Mr. John Voyevich, Superintendent Hemanover, honored board members, seniors, parents, friends of the seniors, I would like to welcome you to the 101st commencement exercise of South St. Paul High School. Seniors, what makes graduation so special is the loved ones from all four corners of the United States that gather on this special night to come and share your success and honor you, the 2008 graduating class of South St. Paul High School. For those of you who have not noticed at this point, this area does have some severe weather taking place, which is why we are inside this evening. Dakota County sounds alarm sirens if the county has any type of bad weather coming. If the sirens go off, that does not necessarily mean that we are in immediate danger. Officer Graveham, with the help of the South St. Paul Police Department, are monitoring the weather for us this evening. In the event that we would have to move out of the area of this building, I will be notified, and I will then give directions for the evacuation. But now we're going to get back to what we are here for, to enjoy this fantastic celebration. I would like to introduce some guests that we have that will be participating in our ceremony tonight. Each of these people has made a difference in the education of our seniors. As I call your name, please stand and remain standing. Department representatives, Mr. Sean McLaughlin, Art. Miss Lori Peterson, Business. Mr. Jay Nix, Industrial Technology. Miss Betsy Destash, Language Arts. Miss Sue Stabnow, Math. Mr. Chad Lindblom, Music. Miss Tammy Lenars, Physical Education and Health. Mr. Craig Felton, Science. Mr. Manuel Spragle, Social Studies. Miss Sue Eknes, Special Education. Miss Sarah Voss, World Language. Miss Gail Klein, Family Studies. Retirees, Miss Kathy Beatty and Mr. Joe Brotzler. School board members, board chair, Mr. Bruce Haggerty, Miss Deborah Clark, Miss Shelley Forster, Miss Wendy Felton, Miss Kay Erickson, Mr. Richard White. On the stage this evening, board member Mr. John Voyevich, Superintendent Ms. Patty Hemanover, our distinguished graduate, Major General Thomas Waldhauser, our honorary graduate, John Lally, our faculty speaker, Mark Grossklaus, and high school administrators, Mr. Chad Sexauer and Miss Kathleen Johnson. Please give them all a big hand. These fine people represent just some of the many teachers and staff members who have touched the lives of our graduates over the years. Seniors, I want you now to show them how much we truly appreciate them with a huge round of applause. On behalf of the seniors, I want to publicly thank the South St. Paul Education Foundation scholarship donors. Through their generosity, and please hear this amount because this is a correct amount, $242,000 was distributed to members of the class of 2008. These scholarships are provided annually to aid students with their future educational plans. At the present time, we have 154 seniors that have committed to attend college next fall. That is 76% of the class, with some of the students still going to college but have not declared a college at this time. That is fantastic. Let's end with a huge round of applause again for all the scholarship donors and the students who won these awards. The class of 2007 was the 100th class to graduate from South St. Paul High School. That was a monumental event which took place last year. The class of 2008, the 101st class to graduate from South St. Paul High School, is even a larger event to celebrate. The class of 2008, you have started the new era of traditions and academic and extracurricular excellence for the new century of graduates from South St. Paul High School. Your accomplishments and hardships are the building blocks for the new century of South St. Paul Packers. I hope you realize that over the next 99 years, your children, your grandchildren, your great-grandchildren, and your great-great-grandchildren may graduate from South St. Paul following the standards established by you, the class of 2008. At a recent senior meeting, I stated that the two most important impressions that people make are their first and their last impressions. The class of 2008, have you made the first impression for the next generation of South St. Paul graduates? Did you leave a noteworthy path to follow? I think so. Did you know the class of 2008 had an academic all-star? 2 Packers qualified for the National Forensic League's national tournament. You had a classmate that received the Roger C. Byrd Honor Scholarship for excellent academics and honors in high school achievements. 3 South St. Paul students will be performing at the Spotlight Musical Theater Awards at the Orpheum Theater. A classmate received the prestigious Dell Scholarship Award. The boys' soccer team played in the state soccer tournament. The South St. Paul students attended the Peace Jam Conference with Desmond Tutu being the keynote speaker. The girls' hockey team participated in the state hockey tournament. You had a classmate who attended the Business Professionals of America 2008 National Leadership Conference in Reno, Nevada. 15 of your classmates are in line to receive the International Baccalaureate Diploma. These are but a few of the many building blocks the class of 2008 has set in history for the next generation of Packers. Your mark in history of the Packers is impressive. It is now your time to move on and continue to be the great role models that make me, your high school principal, so very proud of you. Thank you, the class of 2008. I now have the honor of recognizing and presenting to you the salutatorian and the valedictorian for the class of 2008. As I call your name, please make your way up to the podium where I can present you with a medallion for your keepsake, and then they will share a moment with you, the senior class. Our salutatorian is Sean Collins. Are Teresa and Daniel Collins. Sean, come forward. Now, salutatorian Sean Collins.
Do you guys remember when you were young and your parents always wanted you to get involved in lots of activities and how they always told you to do what you love? Well, unfortunately, that usually meant do what we think you'll like. Well, luckily, as we grew older, we got to make more decisions about what activities we wanted to participate in, and eventually we figured out what activities were right for us. For some of us, that was in junior high. For others, it wasn't until high school. Or in my case, you're still trying to figure that out. But by doing what we loved, we managed to make a lot of different friends. Some of our friends have stayed around longer than others, and some may not be in the same activities as others, but your friends will always be there for you. And that's going to come in handy for us next year because many of us don't have the same plans as others for the next phase of our lives and might need some help. But by doing what you love, there's a chance that you can make new friends and survive the challenges of college or life after high school. Making friends and maintaining those friendships are two of the most important things that I've learned here at South St. Paul. It wasn't something that could be taught by a teacher or learned in classes, but is learned through the experiences that you have during school. The friendships that I've made here and the ones that I hope to make in future years will help me through any challenges that I may face in my life. And hopefully the friendships that you guys have and will make will do the same for you. In the immortal words of Michael Scott, may your hats fly as high as your dreams. Congratulations, class of 2008. We made it.
Thank you, Sean. And now, this time I'd like to present the valedictorian for the class of 2008, Naveen Shanuda. Miriam and Georgette Shanuda.
Thank you all, faculty, staff, family, friends, and students, for coming this evening to celebrate a very important day for all of us graduating seniors. To the class of 2008, I would like to congratulate all of you sitting here today. I would like to congratulate you because all your hard work and effort has paid off and has brought all of you and myself to the end of this journey and to the beginning of the next. Throughout our time together, we have been through many happy and fun times, sad and frustrating times as well, but rest assured that today is one of those exciting times we will remember forever. I have learned so many different and important lessons during my time at South St. Paul, and I thought I would share a few of those with you today. The number one most important lesson is, don't ever trip in front of the stairs, at least when there are people watching. Skip. The second lesson I have learned is that life throws challenges at us, often. All of us will go through many challenges throughout our lives. Some we can accomplish and overcome easily. Others will be more difficult. But what I learned is that those challenges are what build us, what builds our character, what motivates us, and ultimately what makes us stronger, better people. As many of the parents and students know, we all had difficult classes and subjects. Some of us went through IB classes and even the IB diploma. Regardless of the class or project, many of us, myself included, kept things to the last minute, but yet in the end, we still got through all those rough tests, projects, assessments, and fighting off that strange disease, senioritis. I don't think any of us here today would be the same if our teachers didn't challenge us and push us to do our best. But I have to say, of all my classes, projects, and even my IB exams, my biggest challenge in high school was getting my teachers to pronounce my name correctly. Regardless of how hard I tried, they insisted on calling me Nevin, Nervin, Nivea, or even Nermeen at times. And I just wanted to make it clear one last time, it's Naveen. But as Thomas Edison once said, Many of life's failures are people who did not realize how close they were to success when they gave up. Keeping this in mind, we must work hard despite our failures and tribulations to reach our goals, big or small. This quote means a lot to me because my brother and sister helped and encouraged me so much throughout high school, even when it was really hard. And I probably could not have done it without theirs and my parents' encouragement. Hard work isn't an individual task, but one that requires all of the support of those who are close to you. Thank you, Mom, Dad, Rami, and Nermeen. I also learned that we should have good friends to share our experiences with, and friends that have a positive influence on what we do. Having had the best of friends in high school, I know that friends who are encouraging and helpful are so very essential to success. Like John Lennon said, I get by with a little help from my friends. And he was right. Thank you for your friendship. And finally, I learned that you should always balance work and fun. Although I feel as if this lesson didn't really apply this year to a lot of us, with the strange senioritis disease spreading like wildfire. But I learned that it's important to have fun and enjoy yourself, but also to work hard. So when it's time to have fun, you can look back and say, yeah, I deserve that. In the end, I wanted to leave you with a quote by Eleanor Roosevelt, which reads, "The future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams." Don't give yourself the chance to say, I wish I tried just a little harder. If you have a dream, believe you can accomplish it. Work hard, don't give up, and give it your all, and if it's meant to be, you will reach every goal you set your sights on. To my fellow graduating seniors, thank you all for all the memories and fun times, and again, congratulations. I wish you all the very best success in your future, and God bless you all.
Thank you, Naveen. Members of the audience may be wondering about the meaning of the many different medals and sashes worn by the students. So I'm going to give you a little bit of a history lesson now, and we will test you at the end of the day to see if you remember this. Students who are wearing the gold tassels are members of the National Honor Society. Students wearing gold medals are International Baccalaureate diploma candidates. Students wearing silver medals are International Baccalaureate honor students. Students wearing gold sashes are in the top 15% of their class and are graduating with honors. Congratulations to you and all of the members of the class of 2008. I would now like to introduce Ms. Patty Hemanover, Superintendent of Schools, who will present our honorary diploma.
Good evening. It is my honor to present the honorary diploma. This diploma is awarded to an outstanding service to our school district and community, to a deserving individual who is not a graduate of South St. Paul High School. It is my pleasure to announce this year's recipient of the honorary diploma to John Lawley. Mr. Lawley is proud and elated to finally receive this diploma because in 1964, he was forced to miss his high school graduation due to the measles. However, his illness did not hold him back. Mr. Lawley went on to pursue his master's and bachelor's degree from the University of Wisconsin-Superior. He returned to the Twin Cities to complete his MBA at the College of St. Thomas and his postgraduate studies at Hamline University. Mr. Lawley and his wife, Marcia, reside in South St. Paul and have raised 2 children who have graduated from South St. Paul High School. They are also proud grandparents to 3 grandchildren. Mr. Lawley has been and continues to be a very active member of our community and schools. He was elected to the South St. Paul Board of Education in 1986 and served in many capacities on the board, including vice president and president. Following his tenure on the Board of Education in 2003, His passion of education did not fade. That same year, Mr. Lawley was appointed to the South St. Paul Educational Foundation, where he continues to be a strong advocate for education and for the students, staff, and members of this community. I would like to thank Mr. Lawley for his vision, for his voice, for his leadership in helping South St. Paul Public Schools to continue the pride, tradition, and excellence in our school and our community. Mr. Lawley, I am happy to present you with this year's honorary diploma.
I want to revel in this moment for just a minute because I missed out on it 44 years ago. I am more thrilled at this than you can imagine, and thrilled at my age is not a word you use a lot. For all the things that I've done while I was associated with this school district that Patty was so kind to say, doesn't begin to compare with the pleasure and the pride I got out of it. Being involved with this school district was one of the high points of my life. So this is the first bit of wisdom to you, my classmates of 2008. Whatever you do, get involved, get engaged with your community, with your school, with your job, with your friends, and you'll always get more out of that relationship than you put into it, and that's important. I've also found, through my association with the best graduating class in the state of Minnesota, that being associated with that class enhances my reputation and my pride and my standing, and I like that. And that's my second lesson that goes with all this gray hair. As you go through life, associate with the best people you can find, the smartest, the hardest working, the people with the greatest sense of honor and sense of mission, because they will bring out the best in you, and you will in turn challenge them to be even better. So that's the second bit of wisdom. As Patty mentioned, I missed out on my own high school graduation because on graduation day I went into quarantine for 10 days. So I missed getting my diploma, I missed crossing the stage, I missed the graduation parties, I missed seeing friends of mine go off and join the Marines, some of whom I never saw again. So it was a real bummer. I mean, I was really irritated by that. And that's the third lesson. Life's going to hand you some things you don't plan for, some disappointments. And all you can do is pick up and keep on trucking because the challenges will make you stronger. Some of you may be operating under the impression that your education is through. And nothing could be further from the truth. Whether you go on to college or technical school, whether you go to on-the-job training at your job or to a service school in the military, or just learn your lessons from the School of Hard Knocks, your success in life, your happiness in life, your self-respect will be dictated by how you are able to learn and apply what you learn in the rest of your life. For the last 18 years, your parents, your teachers, your community have been giving you the tools of learning. And I don't just mean reading, writing, and arithmetic. They've taught you to research, to plan, to consider, to make good judgments. And as you go through life, apply those lessons and apply them constantly, and your life will be much, much better for it. That's enough wisdom from one person for one night. I hope you have a wonderful graduation night, a safe and very enjoyable party, and that tomorrow when you wake up, or Saturday when you wake up, or whenever it is you finally roll out of bed, that you'll immediately start learning again and take that for the rest of your life. Thank you so much for this. Good luck to all of you, and God bless you.
Thank you, Mr. Lawley. It is now my honor to introduce Miss Kathleen Johnson, high school principal, junior high principal, who will be presenting our Distinguished Graduate Award.
Good evening. It is my honor to present the 2008 South St. Paul Distinguished Graduate Award. This award is given to a South St. Paul graduate who has made significant contributions to our community, our school district, and our country. This year's recipient is Major General Thomas D. Waldhauser. Major General Waldhauser is a 1972 graduate of South St. Paul High School. He was born in South St. Paul and is a 1976 graduate of Bemidji State University. Upon graduation, he was commissioned a second lieutenant in the United States Marine Corps. In his 32 years of service, Major General Waldhauser has served in Virginia, North Carolina, California, Florida, Okinawa, Japan, and aboard Navy ships throughout the world. He served in Operation Desert Shield, Desert Storm in 1990 and 1991, and has commanded Marine task forces in Afghanistan and Iraq. In September of last year, he was promoted to Major General and assumed command of the 1st Marine Division based at Camp Pendleton, California. As commanding general of the oldest, largest, and most decorated division in the Marine Corps, he is responsible for preparing and leading Marines currently serving in Iraq, Afghanistan, and around the world. It is my honor tonight to present this year's 2008 Distinguished Graduate Award to Major General Waldhauser.
Thank you very much. Superintendent Hemanover, Principal Manning, thank you very much for your leadership. Ms. Johnson, thank you very much for that kind introduction. And Teresa Price is here somewhere tonight. She's the event coordinator, and she's the happiest person in the hall because the decision to go inside or outside today was made rather easy. I also would like to thank members of the school board here tonight, members of the city council, and those who are on the podium with me as well. Also, I'd like to give special thanks at this time to each and every member of the staff and faculty at South St. Paul High School. Your tireless dedication to these graduates who are seated here this evening does not go unnoticed. It is not an overstatement to say that your contributions to the future of this city, state, and nation are nothing short of noteworthy. And of course, also a special thanks to the parents and family members who are here this evening. Thank you for all that you have done for these young men and women of the class of 2008. Rain or shine, inside or outside, I know you are joyful tonight. Ladies and gentlemen of the class of 2008, it is my distinct honor to be here with you this evening, and I am very appreciative to be named as a distinguished graduate, something that I would have thought was a total impossibility during my tenure here as a student. Now, my experience over the years has been that people do not remember who was the guest speaker at their graduation, and they certainly do not remember what he or she had to say. So I'm going to be extremely brief this evening with my comments. But nonetheless, I have just a few thoughts for you, the graduates. And let me begin by simply saying that you should be extremely proud of yourself here this evening. You've exhibited intelligence, good judgment, and persistence. Otherwise, you would not be sitting here tonight. As you begin the next phase of your journey, whether that may be continuing your education or entering the workforce in some fashion, it is your performance that will count. For you, the graduates, a lot of what tonight is all about is looking ahead. But I would ask you your indulgence for just a moment as I take a quick look back. Some 36 years ago, in 1972, when I sat out there in the last row with all the other W's, X's, Y's, and Z's, a gallon of gas cost 36 cents. And I checked that twice. A gallon of milk was $1.20. The average cost of a new home was $30,500. And in 1972, the Dow Jones Industrial Yearly Average high was 1,036. And even with the economic challenges we face today, the current Dow Jones Industrial Average is in the neighborhood of about 12,400. And oh yes, in 1972, the first handheld scientific calculator, one of those that did more than just add, subtract, and multiply and divide, was introduced on the scene at a cost of $395. So it's not always a bad news story. Now, browsing through the newspapers online a week or so ago for this first week of June of 1972, the following 3 front-page articles from the New York Times caught my attention. Number 1, Iraq takes over big oil after talks fail. The Iraqi government nationalized the Iraqi oil fields from a London-based Western consortium. This took place after negotiations between the government of Iraq and the company in London broke down. The second headline was, the U.S. backs 11 state plans to reduce pollution of the air. The Environmental Protection Agency announced its approval of plans for 11 states for meeting standards on 6 specific air pollutants. And the third one, somewhat interesting and somewhat timely, George McGovern nears the nomination mark. By defeating Senator Hubert Humphrey in the primary elections this week in 1972 in California and New Jersey, Senator George McGovern closed in on the Democratic nomination for the President of the United States. Now, as you sit here this evening, you are most certainly not expected in the near term to solve our current problems, such as the fight against extremism or eliminate environmental problems such as global warming. But however, as these headlines show, these are long-term concerns that you will most certainly have to deal with in the future. And therefore, it's important for you to understand that we are a global community with a complex economy that is interwoven throughout the world. Now, in this global community, many events that occur in distant parts of the world routinely have a large impact on us here at home. And this is perhaps, in my view, the most significant difference between the world of 1972 and the world of 2008. Now, I find that third headline from the week of 1972 concerning George McGovern and Senator Humphrey to be of particular interest, as it has many parallels to this year's election campaign. And this is why I believe it is of a particular importance to you. When you leave here tonight as a high school graduate, you will roughly have 3/4 of your life ahead of you. And you now become a full partner in this great experiment called America. And I challenge each and every one of you to begin this partnership by demonstrating your commitment through exercising your right to vote in this fall's election. The central issue is not who you vote for. That, of course, is your choice. But what does matter is you will feel good about it, and the country will be better off because of it. Being an informed citizen at the ballot box is one of the responsibilities you now take on as a citizen of this great nation. As the commanding general of the 1st Marine Division at Camp Pendleton, I am currently responsible for over 25,000 Marines. And this evening, 7,000 of these individuals are deployed to Iraq, Afghanistan, and other places around the world where our national security interests are at stake. These men and women, many of whom are not much older than you, from high schools like this throughout the country, have in combat demonstrated courage, selflessness, and a resiliency that would make us all proud. And I have observed this firsthand. Now, although your generation may be relatively young, you are already making significant contributions to this nation. So you can be proud of your generation. I most certainly am. And therefore, I am very optimistic and confident you will also make a difference, a positive difference, wherever your future may lead. In closing, let me again thank you for the honor of this distinguished graduate diploma and congratulate you on your achievement tonight as a high school graduate. It is your day, but you did not get here by yourself. So at some point tonight, you need to say thank you to those teachers and family members who helped you along the way. They will truly appreciate it. Thank you, and Semper Fidelis.
Thank you, Major General. Each year, the Senior Council selects one faculty member to give an address at graduation. This year, they have selected Mr. Mark Grosklaus, Social Studies teacher. On behalf of the senior class, I would like to present to Mr. Grosklaus this gift as recognition for everything he has done for the seniors and for South St. Paul Public Schools. Mr. Grosklaus.
You guys got me. Mr. Manning, honored guests, students, family, friends, I want to thank the senior class for selecting me as their faculty speaker. It's an honor to be speaking at this commencement ceremony for the class of 2008. As I prepared this short presentation, the word speech made me extremely nervous, if you haven't realized. Following Mr. Brandon Lambert's speech from last year isn't easy. It's like following an Olympic swimmer and me being the tadpole swimmer. However, maybe I can put a simple slant on life that still can inspire you. As most of you know, my natural setting is a 20 by 20 room with 35 desks, a projector with video and VCR capability DVD, a laser pointer, the famous squirt bottle that keeps the attention of my students, 28 cell phones, many paper word puzzles, and 25 to 35 eager students listening passionately as I extraordinarily teach. Tonight, I have a captured audience. No cell phones to go off, no text messaging, no word or math puzzles, no service students interrupting my class with passes, no mention of Jolene or Henry, or the two ladies I eat lunch with every day. Just 236 of you, a few family members and friends, to hear me speak for, an hour or so. Okay, 3 minutes and 30 seconds, I believe, is what I have left, Mr. Manning. During my time with the seniors, I give them a vast knowledge of American government, economics, and everything else that seems to come up in our daily activities. I thought about speaking about the 2008 presidential election, calculating your taxes, or growing your IRA returns. I even thought about helping you get elected to local office, such as school board. The request I heard from seniors was to mention each of them. But I figured in a few minutes, you'll hear your name as you walk in front and get your diploma. But I will mention you. You just have to listen carefully. Being a social studies teacher, I use movies as part of teaching. No Frontline episode tonight, no West Wing clips, no PBS shows. A real Hollywood movie. The Pursuit of Happiness is the focus for this evening. This makes a lot of sense because you're preparing for the next step in life. For those of you who have not seen this movie, here's a brief summary. In The Pursuit of Happiness, a young man named Chris Gardner, played by Will Smith, is willing to do whatever he needs to do to provide a better life for his son. Chris Gardner starts out trying to make his fortune by selling bone density machines, which turns into a major struggle. He becomes homeless with his son. They are forced to live in a bathroom in the subway system of San Francisco. He then takes an unpaid internship at a brokerage firm that has no guaranteed future. Despite all these challenges in his life, Chris Gardner becomes a successful stockbroker and over time owns his own business. So the class of 2008, how will you pursue working towards happiness? Many of you have great dreams of what you might want to be in the future. Some of you mentioned your dreams and goals in your senior quotes. You may want to be a carpenter, a nurse, a business owner, a musician, a radiologist, a stockbroker, and maybe even the President of the United States. The question is, how passionate are you to achieve your goals and dreams? Some of you have planned your roadmap of success, but during the journey, problems are going to get in the way. In The Pursuit of Happiness, Chris Gardner faces many challenges. No place to live, caring for his son, trying to sell that bone density machine. How hard are you willing to reach for your goals and dreams? Some of us need more confidence in ourselves. You have all the talent in the world, but you may question if you can do it. Your answer should be, I can, and yes, I will. Motivation and drive will push you forward if something gets in your way. The best plans do not always work out. How will you deal with obstacles in your life? Do you look back in 20 years and say, I was going to become, but? Fight obstacles, work hard, and never give up. There are dreams deep inside of you that can guide you. Ask others for help when necessary. Visualize in your mind how you want your life to be, and do not quit until you get there. Also, there's nothing wrong with changing your goals or dreams, because most of you will. Trust me, every year we see students come back to visit, and they say, I changed my mind, and now I want to become this or that. And that's okay, as long as you put your heart and soul in your goals. In the movie, a car hits Chris Gardner as he's running to his internship class at the stock brokerage firm. The driver of the car is concerned about Chris's bodily injury, but Chris is worried about one thing: finding his shoe that got knocked off him. He was focused. He was focused on his goal. In all, the secret lies in continuing to set your goals. Be willing to be that focused to reach your dreams. I challenge you to go out and be the best you can be. Look for the best in others too. If you strive to be the best in your career, everything else will work itself out. Be the best mechanic. Be the best writer. Be the best parent. Be the best military person. Be the best teacher, and be the best you can be. Choose a path that will make the world a better place. Someone else's life may be significantly, positively altered because you gave your all. Set your expectations for yourself high. It is likely that each of you is capable of doing more than you can envision right now. You may not find yourself living in a subway bathroom or caring for a small child, but we all have challenges to rise above. Some of us do not expect enough out of ourselves. For some, doubt is the ability that plagues us. However, the point is, adversity, obstacles, and challenges will happen. Never give up. At the end of the film, Chris Gardner walks across the street. He strolls by as to say, if you want happiness, pursue it. It doesn't just happen. Work for it, fight for it, and believe you can achieve it. My wishes for you is to encourage you to dream and have the stamina to pursue your happiness. Focus on what motivates and inspires you. Maybe someday they'll make a movie about you or about the class of 2008 and their great impact on the world. I expect great things out of you, and you should too. Now, before I give up the podium, I'd like to mention a few people. The senior class owes a huge thanks to two people, lots of people, but two people I'm going to mention, and one lady's going to be really upset with me. And now she disappeared. Mrs. Price, will you come forward so that the senior class can give you a round of applause? Mrs. Price. Mrs. Price has been the mother to all these young men and women. She deals with a lot of their issues with getting them to school, their senior trip, and this evening. The other person I'd like to thank for the senior class, and I hope they're excited, I think they will be, is a gentleman that has been with them all through the year, and the word I always refer to him is Big Daddy, and that is Mr. Chad Sexauer. Some of you might not be here this evening if it wasn't for Mr. Sexauer's guidance and compassion. So, class of 2008, congratulations, and thanks for all the fun.
We're now going to get set up for our musical selection. Concert choir members, could you make your way to the back, please? This evening's musical selection is You'll Never Walk Alone. It'll be performed by the concert choir, directed by Mr. Chad Lindblom. you, Concert Choir and Mr. Lindblom. Now, it's my pleasure to introduce Mr. Chad Sexauer, Dean of Students, to present the senior class.
I'm going to get comfortable up here. Here we go. Good evening. Graduation is a happy but solemn occasion, and the school requests the audience to refrain from yelling or making other noises throughout the roll call of the class. Please respect the viewers at home and stay behind the cameras when taking pictures. Also respect each family's wish to hear each son or daughter's name being announced. Naveen Gurgis Shanuda. Sean Daniel Collins. Christopher W. Abel. Abisoye Olamara Akatin. Michael D. Alt. Haley Marie Moore. Maxwell Thomas Ambrose. Alicia Marine Anderson. Ashley Ray Anderson. Martha K. Anderson. Jason S. Anderson. Sorry. Tanner Cody Anksman. Courtney Elizabeth Affelbacher. Nathan D. Asper. Brandon P. Avenson. Nicholas Lyle Baker. Adam Christopher Bars. William P. Bartlett. Arturo Ernesto Benitez. Jacob M. Bennett. Jane K. Beanick. Emily Catherine Bilgen. Andrew Richard Bernstangle. Carrie Ann Bishop. Danette Lillian Blackwell. Edward James Blazer Jr. Kyle Andrew Bakke. Teresa Renee Boyle. Vince Matthew Bradley. Christopher James Brown. Michelle Cruiser Buss. Reyes R. Cavillo Jr. Erica A. Casco Espinoza. Julio Castillo. Melissa L. Cavalier. Benjamin James Clark. Trevor O. Clayton. Ryan Richard Conway. Renee L. Cranston. Bradley James Cernobrna. Ryan Jeffrey Crow. Mario Robert Curo. Rochelle Leanne Dahl. Julie Lynn Danielson. Alexander S. Darvaux. Jordan Lee Dietrich. Laura Elizabeth Dochniak. Andrea Marie Dowdy. Jamie Lee Dufresne. Benjamin J. Elliott. Margaret Mary Engelmeyer. Jessica Marie Eppen. Catherine E. Erickson. Sheena Lee Erickson. Margaret T. Fay. Elaine Marianne Field. Elizabeth Rose Flannery. Payne Allen Forster. Madison Lee Frank. Sarah Lynn Freeling. Chandra Lee Gabbert. Anthony Joseph Gackstetter. Shelby Ann Gallahue. Nicholas George Gallus. Trinidad A. Garcia. Benjamin Lee Garvey. Cole S. Skalfus. Rachel Elizabeth Gang. Christine Mary Gilbertson. Amy Michelle Goblerish. Daniel M. Goosens. Joseph Clifton Groutman. David S. Granetz. Austin James Grohowski. Casey J. Letexier Gunch. Mary Grace Hanson. Brent James Heitzinger. Joshua Thomas Hervey. Daniel J. Hopkins. Christopher M. Horst. Leah Ashley Howard. Jacob Russell Hughes. Andrew Todd Isaacson. Zachary Tyler Iskat. Amanda Justine Ivy. Robert J. Jacobs. Joseph Michael Jerhoff. Joshua R. Jarakowski. Emily Janet Johnson. Jacob Thomas Johnson. Jenna Renee Joseph. Michael E. Carls. James Allen Kinnear. Ryan R. Knowles. Alexander D. Koich. Jessica Amelia Kraus. Joseph Allen Krenz. Taylor William Creer. Matthew D. Kronberg. Caitlin Nicole Kropp. Carl D. Lobbs. Amber Leanne Lane. Thomas J. Lane. Sydney Ann Larson. Chaz Joseph Lash. Peter J. Lash. James Patrick Leary III. Joshua John Leary. Kelsey R. Lee. Gregory Leha. Madeline Kristen Lindeman. Jessica Y. Lora. Sarah J. Loyevich. Gerardo Lopez. James K. Lowry. Joshua Arthur McKenzie. Nicole Lee Mahachek. Justin A. Markford. Andrew M. Maskey. Garrett Mark Maskery. Caitlin Nicole McGarthwaite. Michael E. McKay. Eric Michael Medrano. Joshua James Memkin. David Gerald Melendez. Alyssa Ann Metcalf. Nico James Makasevich. Catherine Mahachek Milbert. James Lloyd Milligan, Grace Marie Meisner, Charles E. Moore, Claudia A. Morales, Ariel K. Morales, Alexandria Lynn Mountain, Christina Lorraine Musta, Lindsay K. Newstrom, Carolyn M. Newstrom, Lawrence Michael Nitty, Anthony Ray Olson, Brian T. Olson, Melitza Ortega, Mohammed H. Osman, Emily Jean Oster, Megan Michelle O'Toole, Jacqueline Ann Pananen, Tracy Beverly Joe Page, Joshua David Palmquist, Lauren Jean Parsons Bulin, Jared R. Patet, Adam Charles Palenti, Lauren Elizabeth Pike, Janie Marie Pfeiffer, Jacqueline Lee Peltier, Patrick Pierre Peltier, Timothy Anthony Pendergast Jr., Adrian Lee Peterson, Camelia Marie Peterson, Elizabeth R. Phelps, Pamela Louise Perkel, Diana Marie Praska, Samuel L. Price, Bailey Joe Quinn, Robert I. Quinn, Brooke Joanne Louise Quinnell, Daniel Ramirez, Eric C. Renteria, Senta Victoria Riley, Brendan P. Rose, Nicholas Reuben Ross, Daniel William Rothy, Daniel Raucho, Anthony Jeffrey Running, Lucas M. Ryan, Paige Kathleen Sanders, Rachel Elizabeth Saver, Bridget May Sawyer, Kayla Ann Schaefer, Aaron J. Scheller, Desiree Lynn Schenfeld, John F. Schlief, Leah Jean Shuno, Cody M. Schwantes, Jessica Coral Schwartz, Nicholas Lee Scott, Emily Ann Seberg, Kelsey C. Syrup, Irvin J. Segura, Ryan M. Seifert, Brianne Michelle Simo, Ricardo O. Cermeño, Haley Brianne Schul, Stephen A. Simmons, Tony Joe Simmons, Sarah Elizabeth Sims, Rayanne Lynn Sisted, Stephanie Rose Smeltzer, Zachary Dylan Summer, Eric Edward St. Martin, Matthew James Stoll, Nicholas Robert Stone, Emily Elaine Suhan, Tyler Nathaniel Thompson, Patrick C. Todd, Roy A. Trujillo, Amy Michelle Tui, Brittany Ray Turk, Adriana Vega, Kayla Natasha Velasquez, Alberto Cruz Villanueva, Alexa Marie Vium, Alexandra Rose Viner, Peter John Voyevich, Jacob Clarence Wallner, Michael John Ward, Michael Joseph Webby, Jillian Ann Webush, Patrick Mark Wilson, Reagan M. Wilson, Lucas M. Winholtz, Sarah Elizabeth Whitty Jacobs, Janelle Ricks, Lauren Michelle Zaspel, Richard J. Zegan, Alyssa Marie Zuniga Martinez, Rachel Elizabeth Zwaber.
Well, seniors, this is indeed the moment that we have all been waiting for. Can I get the senior class, the graduates, to please stand up? I hereby declare that the seniors before us have completed all of their local and state requirements. As a symbol of your achievements and a new beginning, please move your tassel from the right to the left. I would like to present to the community of South St. Paul, Minnesota's very, 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 very best class of 2008, the South St. Paul Packers.